Take a Ride podcast. I'm your host here, Starks. You can find me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. I'm not here alone this evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be in the fantasy world. I have the three-man running the wing, LT the Sage. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good. Let's get it. So many rumors. Just call me rumor has it. Go ahead.
Shut up. Yes, this episode in particular, we are going to give you guys a fast-paced offense. We got on a little late, but we want to just jump in the LT mobile on the trade rumors that is going on. And not only that, we'll just touch up on a couple of games. I'm sorry for the listener. We're going to have the rookie selection as far as for the next episode for the sophomore year. So with that being said, we're ready to take people on for a ride. LT, I will pass you the ball there, brother. And it's going to be a fun episode because we're jacked up on water and ice in our veins, I suppose. I don't know where we're going, but we're going to go in a different direction this episode. LT, what do we have in the LT Sage, the rumor trade room corner there, brother?
Got some spicy stuff. Rumor has it, Adele or Jennifer Aniston in the drama romance, rumor has it that we have a lot of trades coming through or thoughts of trades. And one of the trade rumors that we haven't talked about, me and you together, is this potential Clint Capela trade. So it looks like the Rockets are... I don't agree with this. Just to get it off my chest, they are shopping Clint Capela right now. Starks, what do you think about the potential Clint Capela trades out there? Or actually, I really just want to know what your thoughts are on the Rockets selling Clint Capela. Do you think that's a smart decision?
It doesn't seem like that's a smart decision at all. It's actually funny. I meant to actually mention that last episode because there was a secret rumor going underneath the radar on that, but it seems like that momentum is really smoking pipe hot from under the kettle. But in a sense, it seems like it doesn't make sense from Houston, but honestly, they need a true, and I know we talked about Daniel House, right? We talked about Ben McLemore. You know, they need a real type of Covington type of player. I mean, I know you're familiar with a few years ago when Houston was deep in the playoffs when they had your boy Aristocat, Trevor Ariza. He was a solid cog in that offense. They need a player like that. But if you're going to give up Clint Capela, I know the rumor is they're trying to think about giving Covington, covert ops is what we like to call him here in New Life. I don't know if that's the best recipe, but hey, listen, they might be able to get Covington in a decent big in return, and I would not be surprised if they were able to do that. And at the same time, in a dynasty format, if they do not get a big man back, one person that sticks out in mind is Hartenstein. He will be a dynasty darling because his per 36 numbers is not a joke. I know that he has the DNP CDs since Clint Capela's been out, which is weird, needless to say, but hey, it doesn't seem like the smartest move for Houston to do it, but honestly, they might get something back in return. I'll pass you the ball right back.
Woo! And I'm going to try to lay it up. So the most recent news is that Clint Capela, the Kings, are interested in Clint Capela, and that would put Clint Capela on the Kings. That could be a potential pair with Bagley and Rashawn Holmes. And the Rockets would get Bogdan Bogdanovic and Dwayne Dedmon. So that is the potential trade that they're looking at right now. What do you feel like Bogdan is a good answer for that wing type player that they're looking for in Houston?
I think it's just another additional piece as a scorer. It is still kind of weird because he's not a lockdown defender by any means, which is weird. But he does get you those scoring points, and he can get you those solid assists. And honestly, he can open up the offense a little bit more because Houston, we know that they have the 3-point shooters there, but maybe they can utilize that. And honestly, LT, that's funny that you mentioned it. Dead man walking. That's a nice addition too, right? We obviously know here in New Life that Dedmon is not no Clint Capela. We definitely know that. But what we also do know is Dedmon is not getting the minutes that he should be, although he has been recently in Sacramento. He's a little bit older, but honestly, Houston, they are the team that are trying to win now. They don't have time for games. They need all of the players that they can get with Russell Westbrook and Harden because Russell, I believe he's 31 years old. James Harden's 30. They need to get players right now. Houston is going to do anything, whatever it takes is what the Avenger says, right? They're going to do whatever it takes to get players to get the job done. Exactly, LT. Where am I going? It doesn't matter, but I'm going there. Anyways, maybe they can try to get 2 component players back that is going to solidify him. But honestly, I don't know if Tubal would be the answer. He does help the offense a little bit, but I think they need more of a lockdown defender and a three-point shooter, which would be a Covington type of player. So maybe if they were to go in the Minnesota direction to get Covington, then maybe they could get a little cheap big back and like someone like Porgy Georgie, right? But I'll pass you the ball there, LT.
This is my hot take, man. Since you're going just so hot potato with me, I'm gonna just go hot potato with you, man. Clint Capela. Hey, I don't care who you're getting from the Kings. You keep him. He is a asset on that team. He is also shown to actually show up for that team when it comes to playoff time as well. I think he's a great person to have with Harden, with Westbrook. Doesn't demand the rock. Does great pick and roll play. He plays hard on defense when he's able to. I don't know if getting another wing player is going to automatically make them contenders, especially double bog, like you stated before. Maybe Covington. Covington is the only person I can see that could really change the aspect there because he can cover that 2 and 3 and maybe even some 4 spots on some of the teams in the West. But other than that, I don't know. I'd say roll with Capela and just roll with the team you got, unless if you can sneak and get someone else without giving him up. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. The trade rumors I'm hearing for Clint is a little weird, but we'll see what happens. Nothing set in stone yet. But another trade rumor that's popped, we already talked about the Cherry Rozier and the Julius Randle trade from yesterday. We've gotten more cemented information on the trade between Golden State and Minnesota. It looks like the players involved, are a mystery third team. There's a third team involved that may or may not be the Houston Rockets. But the 2 other players involved is D'Angelo Russell with the Warriors. The Minnesota Timberwolves are wanting him very badly. I don't know why. But they want him very badly. And it looks like Wiggins is the potential piece to be shipped over to Golden State. So I just want to throw this out to you, Starks. Curry, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond Green. And I don't even know who their center is going to be next year. Who knows who's going to play center? Right. Who cares, right? But what do you think about that starting 4 or 5 in Golden State next year? Wiggins jumping on the Golden State.
Whoa, hold on. It looks like there's another report. I'm just trying to soak this in. Another Woj bomb.
Nice.
Golden State, Minnesota traded deal concepts today, blah, blah, blah.
Woj.
Holding it. Okay, so this is weird because now they're it says Golden State is out of the sweepstakes on this trade. But then it's almost like I think Golden State wanted to. I didn't read that report too well. There's a lot of weird stuff coming out as we're recording. So if you could still sift through that as I can try to break it down to the listeners the best way that I can possibly. I think from my understanding that Golden State and Minnesota are not close to where they were a little bit earlier today. A report said, as you could, notice that D'Angelo Russell, they was wanting him so bad, which I don't understand. Now, I got a question from a listener. The listener had mentioned, hey, and I'm paraphrasing this. He was just kind of saying, well, if I was to, how would the value affect Wiggins and Towns? Would that affect their value? And this is before you mentioned that Wiggins could go to Golden State potentially. But let's just say Wiggins is still there, and at the same time that D'Angelo Russell comes there. If it was to hurt anybody, it could be Wiggins a little bit on the usage. But honestly, I think D'Angelo Russell would actually help Towns there a little bit because he's a very underrated passer. But as far as usage rate, it would take some shots away from Wiggins. But I think Wiggins would still be fine. But from my understanding, again, Golden State wants a lot more for D'Angelo Russell, which makes sense. I mean, I think it from my understanding, they was trying to get 2 picks in return, or Minnesota was, or however it was, but it wasn't enough. So I don't know if was you able to pull up any additional information there, LT, at all?
Yeah, basically the what Wall just literally just stated is that Golden State's trying to shed tax, lower their tax bill, shed salary, and so any move that doesn't provide a major shed to their taxes or salaries for the upcoming next year, they're not interested in it. They need something that's going to actually change because they always are in the luxury tax over in Golden State. So anything to reduce that is going to be what they're looking for. So unless if Minnesota, because basically what I'm reading is that this is going to be part of they're trying to add Golden State to make it a 4-team deal. Atlanta's involved, Houston, Minnesota, and again, Golden State. They're trying to get Golden State involved, but Golden State's like, hey, no. I mean, unless if you can provide us some salary cap shed and some, get some other people off our books, it'll probably be Minnesota taking some, bad deals or bad contracts on themselves in order to make that trade work. So so Golden State's making it difficult, right? So that's the big issue right now. It looks like Golden State's not really playing with the other teams there.
Exactly, man. And you know what's funny is like Golden State, let's just be honest, they're a very wise team, right? Even though they're in the tank, they got their tank tops on, they're ready to explode. But honestly, they have. It's hard to say this, but they really have the ball literally in their court, and it feels like they're almost going to get what they want. It really feels like that. And I could be wrong because honestly, when it comes to the trade rumors, it always comes to the opposite end where something else happens that we don't even see coming. But honestly, Golden State has something up their sleeve, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to get exactly what they want. So was there any other rumors that was formulating here today that you had there, LT?
No, that's the main one. There's a couple. I mean, other than the other big one is the Hornets one, Julius Randle. There's not really too much others. There really have been everything's been very quiet on drumsticks. I know you broke off the Luke Kennard. I think Luke Kennard trade with the Pistons that they were looking into. But other than those, not anything cemented. This is the big one, right? This is the big one that could shake things up. Houston looking for a piece. Atlanta looking for young talent. I heard Atlanta is also trying to get Kuzma from the Lakers. Yeah. So I did see that. Wait a minute. I also heard that the Kuz, I think the Knicks was trying to get him too. Yeah, the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks were trying to get the Kuz. So between the Hawks and the Knicks, so the Kuzma could be a piece. I know the Lakers are looking for just somebody that can help with cementing another championship. I mean, Kuz is a good player. I mean, they will not do any wrong keeping him on the team as a backup coming off the bench. So I don't even know what the Lakers even need. Their team just needs to be healthy, to be honest. So maybe they get some assets done there, but nothing cemented. The big thing is this 4-man team trade that they're trying to get done, but unfortunately, it looks like Golden State's not playing fair. I did want to mention something to you, Starks, real quick. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear about this beef or this potential beef between Curry and Ja Morant?
No, I didn't.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. So basically, what's happening is that Andre Iguodala is on Memphis. Yeah, you did see that.
Go with it,
yeah. And he hasn't reported to the team. He's not in practices. He hasn't done anything. He's just like, yeah, I'm not playing for this scrub Memphis Grizzlies team. He's not doing it, and he wants out. He wants a trade, and so to the teams he's requested. So Dylan Brooks was actually asked about it after a game, and Dylan Brooks was like, "Hey, listen, I don't care about Andre Iguodala. I want him to get traded so that we can play against him." And basically, he was like, bust him up, right? Basically, that's what he said. He said, I want him to get traded, go to a team. I want to play against him, and I want to bust him up. That's basically what he said. For some odd reason, Curry chimed in Curry chimed in and just put like a picture of Andre Iguodala with a championship trophy. Okay. Well, first what happened was John Morant, retweeted Dylan Brooks's comments and did a little echo face, basically saying he feels the same way. And then Curry puts up a picture of Iggy with a trophy. Like, where did Curry come from? Like, Curry, why are you even getting involved? Like, it's not even your team. And after that popped up, John Morant posted a picture of Durant with a trophy, basically saying the only reason why you guys got a trophy is because you guys had Durant. So Morant coming out real spicy there. And John Morant, he had made comments afterwards, and he was like, I respect Curry, but am I supposed to be scared of him? I'm not. So just keep that in mind for next year. The Memphis, I got in a little argument, my first IG argument earlier. The thing about it is, respect your, whatever, NBA, whatever. But let's be honest, Iguodala is pretty much saying that these guys are garbage, right? I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to provide you with any of my my knowledge. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to play the role of a veteran on a team that's, the Vince Carter role while I wait for a trade. He's not doing any of that. He's not involved with the team at all. And that's one of the reasons why it's an issue. If he was with the team, supplying, helping them, while he still says, "Hey, I want to trade," that's okay. That's fine. We get it. You're old and you want to try to get another ring, but not to be providing anything for these young guys on this team is, I think, a disservice. And I think those guys have a reason to be upset because they've been playing pretty well as of late. And instead of talking about their play, they're talking about Mr. Iggy himself throughout this trade deadline. So, Starks, I didn't know whether you knew about that. It sounds like you knew a little bit about that, though.
Yeah, but no, how you broke that down, you got even more in depth of it, and I didn't know the depths of that, and that's crazy. I did see the tweet and heard about it, but that's crazy to even mention. There was something I was going to say on top of that, but you know what? To be fair, at the same time, like Golden State did win without Durant here, but that's still funny that Josh said that.
That was pretty funny. I mean, yes, they did win, and to me, that was legit. That was a legit championship. I just, when Durant came around, and man, that team was just, and they had like Cousins for fun too. It was. That team was just ridiculous, but hey, it's all good in the hood. Everything's right with the league. Next year is going to be real fun. Now that hopefully everyone can be healthy. The Mavericks are a team that's going to be, competitors now, with Unicorn and LUKA. And so the West is just a dog fight every single season, man. It's crazy. But I'll go ahead and switch over to games. Did you have anything?
Let me steal the ball.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's perfect.
There was one thing I was going to mention on top of that. I don't know if you've seen the report. Your boy, Luke, I Am Your Father, Kennard, it looks like they're getting closer to getting a deal with the Suns. So he might go to the Suns, which is weird because it's like, well, what is the Suns? I don't know what the Suns are doing. And to get Luke Kennard on our team, that's solid. But it's like we, as fantasy owners or GMs, are going to be like, dang, is that going to hurt some of his value? I mean, potentially it could a little bit. But, we can think of him in the starting lineup. So what the starting lineup could look like, because I think the Suns would give up some draft picks. So you can think of Devin Booker to start. Then you got Luke Kennard. We got, obviously, Ricky Rubio. And then someone was like, is this going to hurt Ricky Rubio? No. I mean, Ricky Rubio is still the aforementioned point guard there. Maybe Mikal Bridges slides out back to the bench. Or, does that make sense? They got Kelly Oubre and then their big man, DeAndre Ayton. So they'll figure it out either way. Regardless if Luke Kennard is a sixth man or not, I think he's still going to hold value. But the value in Detroit is so much sweeter there, just because of the Detroit situation. So if he does get moved to the Suns, for those that are Dynasty Gems that we are, but obviously we touch up on redrafting points leagues. You can still consider him a hold, but I mean, honestly, if he does go to the Suns, you might be able to get some value back in return from him as far as if you trade him. But I'll pass you back on the ball if you can touch up on some games on this quick pace offense here tonight.
Yeah, we'll touch up on a couple of games. I definitely don't want to touch up on the Portland game. We can just ignore that game. Yikes!
Gosh, they're getting stopped again?
They're getting steamrolled, bro. Like absolutely mollywopped. I don't understand why it's happening. I don't understand why it's happening at all. It's kind of sad because another thing, I'll just go off while I bring up these scores, man. Damian Lillard got shafted for Player of the Month. Player of the Month. He did not win Player of the Month for January. Somehow, some way,
that's a real snub.
He did not get Player of the Month. Guess who got it? Oh, wait. Yeah, LeBron. And I know why LeBron got it. I get it.
We know why.
We get it. I know why LeBron got it. Exactly. And so part of me is a little, part of me is like, whatever. But at the same time, Lillard played one of the greatest stretches of games there I've ever seen from a player. And the fact that LeBron had he had some things he was higher than Lillard, but listen, he had twice as many 30-point games as LeBron in the month. Averaged more. Obviously, assists was more actually, and then rebounds was lower. But of course, it's LeBron. So it's a snub. It's a huge snub, and it's kind of disrespectful, to be honest with you.
It is.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll help you out, man. I'll go ahead and juice the orange and help you out.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll be your sidekick for once, right? Listen, Damian Lillard. I'm a fan of him too, LT. I know this is your boy. I'm a big backer of Damian Lillard as well. And the thing is, I'm with you 100%. We understand the situation. We won't expand on that, but we will say this. He has been on a killing spree. And honestly, I had mentioned when you've been, licking your wounds a little bit last week, I was talking about Damian Lillard, actually juicing the orange in your absence about him.
Nice.
Gushing over him because he needs to be mentioned. And honestly, we talked about the all-star snubs. I get it. But this is a massive snub. Honestly, this dude has been on a burner. He's been the overall in that month span, the number one player in fantasy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Now, listen, here's another thing to keep in mind. We know it's the LUKA show. We get it. We understand it. But honestly, Lillard is not getting the appreciation that he needs and deserves. And it's unfortunate because Portland is essentially, I hope they're not a wasteland team, but they've been losing, right? And it seems like he's kind of been hidden under the radar. They might talk about him like, oh, yeah, Lillard did well. And then at the same time, okay, let me just mention this, a subliminal message, right? So Damian Lillard on that game in particular against LeBron, we seen what Lillard did that game. That should have solidified him to get that game off on top of that. So there's not really excuse in a way. We get, like I said, I don't want to get in depth with that. We understand why, but it's still, we have to respect that he got snubbed and it's real. But let me say this to juice it a little bit more for Lillard, because I know the question is going to be like, we talk about players as MVP and LUKA could potentially be the MVP. Honestly, I think Lillard has to be in that discussion now. I really believe that, right? Now, can he finish at this pace? I don't think it's realistic, but what we can take and measure anything is he could be a potential top 4 or better player the rest of the season. And if he can be in that case, he could be in the MVP standings. LT, I'll pass you right back the ball.
Yeah, definitely. I completely agree with you. He is just, man, Portland just needs to win games. We are not too far out from the 8th speed. So I mean, because of Lillard's tear, we're catching up. So we're not completely out, but we have to outpace Memphis the rest of the way and keep San Antonio behind us. So, excuse me. So yeah. So I mean, we're not completely out of the playoff hunt, but Lillard has to play out of his mind, and he's had to play out of his mind just to win some of these games. So it's just crazy, but I'll digress. We'll go ahead and do some fast-paced shooting on some of these games. We only have a couple. Milwaukee beats New Orleans, not surprised. By the way, Milwaukee is 43-7 right now. Jeez, my gosh. Greek Freak, 12 for 17, 9 for 13. That's a little better from the charity stripe. I still want a 10, 11 for 13, but whatever. 17 rebounds, 6 assists. He had 5. Who cares? 1 steal, 1 block, 34 points. Greek Freak is a man. He is a man's man. And this is the unpopular opinion, but LeBron is still one of the best, but I do feel like Greek Freak is right there with him. I think it's 1A, 1B at this time as the best overall player in the league. He is dominant on the floor. It is almost impossible to cover this guy. Let's see who else played well. Actually, all the starters played well for the Bucks. Anybody you want to talk about on the Bucks, Starks?
Quickly disagree with you. I mean, obviously, Greek Freak is on a different level. Fantasy, yeah, but NBA, you got to still give it to LeBron. So we'll disagree there. I get it. You know, I'm be nitpicky there. But on this game in particular, there's nothing really I want to talk about. We knew the players that did well, they did well. On the New Orleans side, I'll go ahead and jump into I'll leave it to your expertise on Brandon Ingram, but I want to say this on Zion Williamson. I think he stole the ball. He actually made Greek Freak look like a boy in one of those. I think he either bullied him off a steal or a block. I couldn't remember the report I read earlier. I got to go back and check that, but it looks like Zion is coming and he's looking good. And Derek Favors had a poor game. I'll pass you back the ball on your expertise on Brandon Ingram, and if there's anybody else you want to talk about there, brother.
Nah, not really. Ingram puts in a strong outing. He's still been playing decently well. He has taken a little bit of a hit, but that's once they work out the kinks. Once Jrue Holiday gets traded, no, I'm just kidding. Once they work out the kinks a little bit on team chemistry, Derek Favors just with a putrid game as well.
We steal the ball.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a report by Shams. Sources Minnesota, Atlanta, Houston are in serious discussions on a deal that would actually send, like we were talking about, covert ops, Robert Covington to the Rockets and Clint Capela to the Hawks. Evan Turner and draft compensation involved in current talks to the Timberwolves' potential fourth team too. So I'll say this real quick to the Hawks, like
why?
Exactly. Like,
that's what I'm thinking. Like,
and John Collins.
I guess John Collins has been playing the 4 a little bit.
Yeah, but it's just like the rebounds is going to be sucked up by one of the two, right? So I think the rebounds is going to be soaked out or actually depleted a little bit from Collins if Clint Capela is playing that big, that 5 spot, which is weird. But go ahead, I'll pass you back the ball. What's your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, Collins' value takes a huge hit if Clint Capela goes over to the Hawks. He's going to be the primary big man. Maybe Collins will be more of a scorer. But, man, I don't know. What I wanted to say real quick is that Michael Jackson Hayes, bring him out. Please. Give him the start. Give him the chance. I saw some of his stats. He's going to be one of my rookies that I'm gushing about for next year if he gets the opportunity. Put him in. Give him the minutes. You have no one else as a big man. Derek Favors is not the answer, okay? He's not doing you any favors on the court.
I mean, he's been pretty good other than tonight.
Hey, Starks.
You don't want to believe it.
Hey, Starks. Is he the answer long term?
Long term, he's not the answer.
All right. That's all I wanted to know. Charlotte versus Houston. Harden. Oh, my God. 77 fantasy points. Let me just scroll to this Harden game.
Yeah.
Let's look at it. Okay, 11 for 26. 4 for 11 from the 3. Oh, there it goes. 14 out of 15 free throws, 9 rebounds, 12 assists. That's good to see. 3 steals, 1. Got you stock stats as well. 40 burgers right there. Oh man, this is the Harden-esque game you hate to see. Starks, how do you feel about Harden?
Oh, you know what I feel about Harden. I loved him since OKC, and shame on you, OKC, for letting this man go. But I will say this: it's going to make things interesting because your boy Daniel House actually had a solid game too.
House party.
But yeah, house party indeed, man. Actually, the whole Houston starting lineup did decent. It looks like Russ didn't play this game. Might have been like load management. Clint Capela didn't play this game. So it looks like they just don't care about running bigs anymore. They're gonna just play small ball there. they don't care at this point in time. So
PJ Tucker at the 5, like what is happening?
Woo! Hey, listen, man. I hope that's the case and he continues so he get that center eligibility because hey, listen, if he does, that's beautiful, man, because he holds value and it's nasty. I don't know why that is, but listen, if they were to get Covington, then what? You're gonna have Daniel House and then Ben McLemore. That's just weird, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. But hey, listen, to those Dynasty GMs, this trade, I'm going to be honest, since this report came out while we're recording, thank you, because I think this trade is going to go down. This feels like it, right? It almost seems like Capela is going to go to the lane. I really think at this point it's official. Well, it's not official, but I think it's getting close. But it's just like, why? If you get Covington, you better get something else back because Clint Capela is younger, but again, I get it. Houston is trying to put their chips in, but kind of like LT said, like maybe you want more. Like why? Or actually, why? You seem like you're set up now, but honestly, I'm going to tell you why. LT, you get Covington, you got a 3-and-D guy, perfect. Just get a cheap big man back because Clint Capela. Listen to the fantasy jams. You don't want to hear this. You might want to turn off the podcast after hearing this. In fantasy, he's been good this year, but to me, in fantasy, he just isn't that good. But hey. He's proved me wrong this year. He's good. He's good in fantasy, but for me, he's not. I'll pass you the ball back there.
What does that even mean?
Exactly.
He's been good this year. Fantasy, just to me, just not that good. Wait, what? Here's the cheat code, Starks. Here's the cheat code. Tyson Chandler is also on this team. So think about it. If they ever need to play a big man for any reason, they can deploy Tyson chicken wings. I mean, they can play small ball, but if they have to deploy someone, a big man,
listen,
they have Chandler.
That's true, but at the same time, like I said, if they really desperate, they could put Hardenstein into that dude.
That's
is
true.
Good.
Hardenstein too.
They just want to play super small ball. So I don't know why.
Houston. I also, Starks, I didn't know if you realized that, but Houston's like a Thunder Light. They got Harden, Cephalosha, and Westbrook on the same squad. Why? All right. Last little bit here. We got Terry Rozier. He's been in trade rumors. He's still putting up some decent. He's actually having a career year this year as well. So it's real weird. It's real weird to see them potentially trading him off. I don't understand it. 5 for 12, 3 snipes, 7 for 7 from the charity, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Starks, anybody on here real quick you want to talk about before we move on?
Devontae Graham Crackers had a little bit of a bounce back game, had a double-double with 10 assists. Monk, man, he's starting to look a little bit better. He's getting the minutes. Honestly, I'll just tell you guys this, in shallow leagues, like if you're in a 12 to 14-man league and you can afford it and he's available in your league, I'm going to say snap him up because he's getting the minutes. There's going to be some inconsistencies with him. I get it. He gets you those high value shots, and that sometimes he'll score the points, get you those underrated assists, and sometimes some steals. So check that out from him, and he can score you some threes. And that's all I got there. Is there anything else you want to say on that particular LT?
No. Just don't, guys. Don't snap him up. Snatch him up. Okay, that's what Starks meant. Just want to let you guys know.
I meant snap him up. I like that.
You meant snap him up. Okay.
I like snap him up.
No, I don't. Okay. I just wanted to take a look at this game. What's happening? Oh yeah, that's what's happening. Jamal Murray somehow healthy now, and Jokic is busting us up. Okay, cool. All right, good to know. All right, that's all I'm going to talk about on that. I'm going to go into my clutch shot. Lillard was supposed to be my clutch shot tonight. He is playing out of his mind. Even is about to get a double-double this game as well. He has to shoot 23 times. That's not a recipe for success. CJ McCollum shooting 18 times. I feel Carmelo only shoots 5. I wouldn't even care if there was a little bit more shots from other guys. Ariza can hit those threes from the side. Listen, Portland, listen to me. I'm begging you. I doubt there's going to be any more moves done. I know you got Ariza. That's the last chess piece that you had, right? If anything, okay, guys, if anything, okay, we need a defender. Okay, I get Trevor Ariza as a defender, but we need somebody else coming off the bench that can defend in end of game situations. Please, I'm begging you. Swanigan is not the answer. Okay, Swanigan again. Hazonia. Okay, okay. The experiment's over. Okay, yeah. Get these guys out of town and get some vets. We need vets. I don't care. Vince Carter. Not Vince Carter, but just get some vets.
Swanigan.
Yeah. So hey, you know what? He's yeah.
You've been swindled.
We've been swan. Yeah, ever since he's joined, we've been taking a swan dive off the ledge. But no, I know Nurkic is coming back soon. I know he's going to bolster our back end on our bench, putting minutes there. I get it. Listen, thumbs up, whatever. We need more pieces to come off the bench. Our bench is terribly weak. And Lillard is putting all of his energy in trying to get us in the playoffs. And then when the playoffs hit, his knees are going to buckle because he's been putting all this all this mileage trying to get us there. Give him some freaking help. And let's get it. Let's get a championship. Let's bring one to Portland. That's my clutch shot.
And give me the ball, man. You clutched it hard. Listen, my clutch shot is this. Miles Bridges needs to be appreciated. I know a lot of people was getting frustrated. Guess what? He had a 20-point, 15 rebound game, and he's been hot here recently. So for those that dropped him or see him available in a shallow league, you press this podcast on pause immediately if you haven't already to grab him. He needs to be snapped up, not snagged up, snapped up from the waiver wire. So please, if you're able to do that, go ahead and do that. You'll feel good, and as LT would say, you'll be smiling from ear to ear. So we thank you, listeners, for tuning in. You guys can follow me on my Twitter handle. It's at Starks_industry. You can also find me on Instagram, One Closing Hero. Additional clutch shot. I know LT doesn't care, but he's going to have to accept it. But there was a massive trade in the MLB today. Looks like the Dodgers did get Mookie Betts and David Price. Very interesting. The Dodgers is going to be like the Golden State Warriors of a few years ago. But give me a follow on Twitter. Ask me a question. I'll get to you at a prompt time, and I'll pass you the ball, LT.
All bets are off, right? Hey, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Sage Network X. The X is silent, by the way. And then also one of our top fantasy writers, Jacob the White Knight Dunn at Ain't Done Yet. Dunn's with 2 N's. And also, I think I lost my guy here, the fantasy logician. Let me see if I can find him again here. As
you look him, go ahead and look him because I'm gonna steal the ball. We got another report, another Woj bomb. Among the serious candidates to emerge as a new 4th team. When we were talking about the Rockets involved, the league sources tell ESPN the Denver Nuggets talks with these teams as well. So Denver is getting their hands dirty in this as well. So be on the lookout in the next episode. I will probably cover it on the ISO episode for you listeners to give you the idea of what just happened next. I will pass you back the ball if you found out where you can find out Micah, where he's at.
Micah, Fantasy Central at Fantasy Logician. I'm sure he's going to be talking about this trade. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say. I know Micah and Starks are trying to get together on a podcast, a baseball podcast for you listeners. The pitch count is high. And we're ready to swing it out of the park, baby. Over to you, Starks.
Yeah. Yeah. Get off. As this guy puts this on YouTube, I'm glad I can see his face. This pitch count is high. It's okay just to say full count, but hey, I'll accept that, I suppose.
Okay, good. Passing grade. I'll take a C.
All right, so listeners, thank you so much for tuning in on this short episode. We wanted to give you guys content. So with that being said, God bless you. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, and take a ride.